Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm sorry, I'm just a couple of minutes late because it's snowing out there. You know, I know it's not relevant, but things happen. In a cozy day like this, sometimes you want to take a little bit more time to get from one room to the other. Hello, Mario. Good to see you. Just guys, remember to let me know from where you're watching the live talk, so at least I have an idea of what the distance is between us. Marianne, hello dear. Just let me know which country you guys are tuning in, and get your coffee or tea in front of you, and we'll have our regular Sunday talks about your relationships, your breakup, the matters of psyche, about ego, desires, fears, thoughts and consciousness, and other relevant things that could be challenging you these days, and you could be having something to say about it. So we have Ardeshir from Washington. Hello, dear. You're in a place of center of attention these days. And we have Bhupender. Bhupender, thank you very much for being here. I know if you are happening to be in India, it must be 12 midnight. So I appreciate you making the effort. Raju, the same. It must be late. And again, thank you for being here. Alex from Costa Rica, ¿cómo estáis? Hope you're having a wonderful morning, Sunday. In Costa Rica, what is the time there? It should be, you're 2 hours ahead, I believe. This is 10:30 here, at least it was a few minutes ago. I was supposed to start at 10:30, but I was 3 minutes late or so. And Angelica from Sweden. I don't know any words in Swedish. I wish I did, how to say hello. Maybe hello will do. And Dane from Peoria, Illinois. Oh, I drove once with a couple of friends of mine from Portland to Chicago. We went to Skokie. That's where my friend's parents' home was. So we drove from Portland to Chicago, to Skokie, and that was a trip. It was a long trip, but we didn't sleep because either I was driving or my friend. Our other friend didn't have a license, so it was a spring break, I believe, and so it was quite of a journey. He had a small little car, and when the trucks would pass us by on the highway, the whole car would shake. So it was quite scary. It was a good car, but it was a small car. So let's see who else we have here. We have Wendy from London. Good to see you, Wendy, or good of you to be here. Abby from Philippines. You speak Tagalog there, I believe. And Jonas Bakra. I don't know you, he says. Yeah, that's all right. Makes two of us. I don't know you either, but we can get acquainted. This is this is the place if we ever would have a chance to get to know each other. Todd expresses his dissatisfaction for being here and throws out a nasty word to me. That's very gentlemanly of you, Todd. And if you're not happy to be here, you're welcome to leave. Dennis from California. Oh my goodness, California. What a wonderful place. Last time I was there, was a long time ago, but it's always wonderful. I went to Disneyland when my son was little boy, and we had a great time there. Shauna from Paris. Oh, bonjour. Oh, bonsoir, mademoiselle. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? I hope everything is well with you. And from Germany, we have Hartmut. Wie geht's heute dir? Good to see you here. Or guten Abend, I should say. It's probably 6:30 or 7 over there. Marjan Shirzai from Netherlands. Hello, Marjan. Salam. I hope you still speak Farsi. I do, still sometimes. And Daniel. Yes, I am. I am drinking tea. This tea is chamomile and a mixture of chamomile, little whatever that is, plus with the German tea, which is all fruits, made out of fruits. So it gives me a little bit of balance there, lots of goodies in there. Hassan from Turkey, Güle Güle Efendi, Keyfin Necadi, I hope that you are well. Isabella from Texas, howdy. That's as far as I go. Last time I was in Texas, that was many years ago, 2006 or 7, I believe. That was for a wedding in Houston. Rajesh from India, hello dear. Simona from Beirut, oh, ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. And from Scottsdale, Arizona, that's easy. How are you, dear? Faye, good to see you. And Regan Buchard, which he left it a mystery not to know where he is watching us. Frankie De Souza, hello Frankie. And Pauline Roberts from the UK. So we have wonderful number of people. Nicola. Aha, good. So Nicola started everything right away, stopped this hello, how are you thing, which could have gone on for a long time, and as I was enjoying it to see what is our demographic. So, and Nicole says, how do you really find self-love? Well, Nicola from UK, it's very difficult to love something if you don't know anything about it. And what you know is very limited to the physical appearance of that thing. And we seem to be conditioned to only pay attention to the physical appearance of things these days, or since thousands of years ago, and we're still living on the same premise, that if something we see, that's all there is to it. So we got to make our judgments based on what we see, or what we hear, or what we touch, and these are, using our senses seems to be the only thing that we think we should be aware of, whatever our senses can tell us, the 5 senses, you know, seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. And that seems logical and reasonable because we are animals who are operating on using these facilities that we have in order to negotiate our ways and, you know, deal with things that come about. But are these senses really enough to let us know what things are all about? Is there anything else here that we are missing in understanding other people and, regarding your question, knowing about ourselves? If we go by the same rule as we talked about, so the way to know each other would be according to how we talk with each other, the tone of our voice, how we look, how we are groomed, how we treat each other, and how we touch and enjoy, and pleasures that we receive or give to each other physically. So if that's the way we're going to use to know ourselves, it's going to be very limited, and it's not going to work. Neither it works towards knowing other people thoroughly, nor does it work toward ourselves. Why? Because, as you know, we are all made out of mind and the body. And body is very easy to see it and recognize it. Either you like it or you don't like it. Somebody's body, somebody's voice, somebody's manners and so on, very easy to decide. I want to have nothing to do with this girl or with this guy, whatever your friendship or relationship or intentions are. But then there is the mind that is part of our entity, which we seem to be oblivious of it. Just like when we see the tip of the iceberg in the ocean, we think that's all there is to the iceberg. However, hundreds of times or tens of times bigger than what's visible on the surface of the iceberg, surface of the ocean, of that iceberg, is underneath the ocean, and it's not visible. But if you want to judge that what you see is the totality of the iceberg, well, then you don't have clear understanding of the limitations or the abilities, the size and power of the iceberg. Same thing with us. We see each other by the way of physical appearance, and we judge each other on those bases that we just talked about, and we totally forget about what is their mind made out of. So coming back to your question, what do you know about yourself to be able to establish if you love yourself or not? Your whole understanding of you is based on what the other people are telling you, or what interactions or attentions you receive from others. That has become your measuring stick to know if you're good or bad. So-and-so said something good. So-and-so whistled for me because you had your nice clothes on, or however you looked, or so-and-so was paying attention to me, or this and that. But as you know, that is not really what we are. That's just an opinion of some people, and it's like Facebook page that we have. We like to see more thumbs up or more likes, and then we think we just made it. I mean, we're so popular now. We've accomplished something because other people gave us lots of likes. So when you get lots of attention from people, you think that you really have accomplished something. And how do you go about it about yourself? So you groom yourself, you wear nice clothes, you educate yourself, and you think you know yourself. You get a job, you make some money, and you think you know yourself. You drive a nice car, and you think you know yourself. No, these are things that gives you pleasure. These are things that you're interested in. How do you get to know yourself? Well, you got to focus on what is the mind's role is in your life. There's a lot to talk about this subject, about what the role of the mind is. We've talked about it in many of my videos on YouTube channel, about 300 of them. When you go to the playlist I have named Psyche, the Psyche, that explains many things. One of them would be about power of mind, the energy of mind, and understanding the relationship between our mind and body, and our mind with the universal and nature's energy. And that explains it in detail. And in one of my books, Me, My Psyche, and I, you will have a big chapter on this topic of mind and mind power. However, we are not going to be talking about the relationship between mind and the energy of the nature. We're going to be talking about what you can really see it without getting into that kind of a philosophy. So, how do you love yourself? Is by knowing yourself. How do you know yourself? By knowing the field of the known, the consciousness. By understanding how you've been put together. What are the things that actually has influenced you and put you together, put the material, the content of your consciousness, how has it been affected? How has it been collected? How has it been deposited in here, which we call memory, the field of the known, which creates you. You as a center, as a whole, your center is the content of your consciousness. And ever since childhood, and before even you were born, and thousands of years ago, many of the traits that you carry on through your genes from your ancestors have been transferred to you through your parents and so on and so forth. And when you grew up, when you were born, through your mom's behavior and the way she treated you, your dad's, your siblings, the teachers, the constable in the street, the laws and rules, the religions and traditions and customs and nationality and all these, all the taboos and all the good stuff and all the newspapers and TV and programs and things that you've been exposed to, people you have come to contact you were programmed with certain information in your consciousness. Based on that, your thoughts were born. From your thoughts, an action. From the action, an experience. From that experience, knowledge. And that knowledge goes back and is recorded in your consciousness, in your memory. And from that again, a new thought. And this is how you can understand what you are all about. You're not all about the way you look, how beautiful your eyes or your face or your body is, how cascading your hair is, or if you have or don't have hair, or whatever it is that you seem to physically decide about your appearance. It's all about the ingredients that shapes the content of your consciousness, from which your thoughts are born. And the content of your consciousness being the watcher, being the controller of your thoughts, since your thoughts are born in that field of the known, the consciousness. So therefore you can say your consciousness is controlling your thoughts. Yet your thoughts are what creates the action, experience, knowledge, which is deposited in your memory and creates your consciousness. So the watcher, the controller, the consciousness, is the thought, is the watched, is the observed, is the controlled. The consciousness being the controller of thoughts, so consciousness being controller, thoughts being the controlled, consciousness being observer, thoughts being the observed, consciousness being the watcher, and the thought being the watched. So in this case, you will see that the thought is the consciousness. The watcher is the watched. The watched is the watcher, because the watcher, the controller, is made out of all these thoughts that it create action and the experience and the knowledge, and it becomes a memory which creates the watcher. So by understanding how you're put together, you will be able to see what is or is not good or correct according to what is the truth and the way to harmonize yourself with life, with the others, with the interaction, with this journey of life that we have. And in that way, then you have enough knowledge why you get afraid, why you desire, why you have ego, why this thought is there, should it be there, the effect of it to the society, to you, to the people around you. You have enough information about you. Then, and only then, you're free. And you can tell and see if that is something you like to love. Without knowledge, which is always limited, of course, because you're always evolving, but at least it will give you a good head start to know enough to know what conditionings that you've received needs to be changed, needs to be worked on. What you're building, if it's palatable or according to the path that you've taken or not. And then you can decide if you can love yourself or not. That was a long talk, I know, but it was only a short part of it. And you're probably sorry you asked the question, but that's what happens. I hope to explain as much as I can this short time that we have whenever you ask a question, but this is what you want to talk. So if you go on my channel, on YouTube channel, and tune in and look for The Psyche, the playlist The Psyche, there is one says quality of life, watcher and the watched, controller and the controlled. That will explain a lot more, and then you will be able to have some more idea about it. So I hope I answered your question, at least to the point that it'll give you something to ponder. And Marysville, Washington, Carmen, hello dear, good to see you. Rajesh, hello. Paolo from Portugal, hello. And Danica from Serbia, hello dear. So, Naveen Kumar, you like my hairstyle? Well, not much here. You should have seen me when I was 25 years old. I had some. Okay, now we have Hoyce Scott says, see, you don't like the English. Why? Why do you say that? What makes you think I don't like English? I think I like everybody as long as they're people of good caliber and helpful and positive to others, and interactions are positive with them. Why not? I'm sure you're joking, but I don't know what brought that up. Dennis asks if you are, it says, sir, are you psyche? Well, I hope I'm not a psycho. That's one thing, but I wonder. I do like to know about my psyche, that's for sure. But I'm not a psychologist. My education in university was different. However, my research in the function and relationship of mind and body in university was quite elaborate through martial arts, Japanese martial arts and meditation, years of understanding, and the relationship between our energy and the universal energy, and how we can harness that through meditation and so on. Then elaborate research on the studies and work of the pioneers of hundreds of years ago, and particularly 100 years ago, who pioneered this understanding of the contents of the consciousness. You know, our ego, our desire, our thoughts, and fears, and so on. So my elaborate and years of study on his work helped me to coordinate it with what I have learned and experienced and in life, and educated myself through my studies, and to be able to deliver it in a way that is perhaps a different way of delivery for people, to be helpful for their breakups, relationships, to understand their psyche better, and so on. So, Jerome from Philippines, and Yvonne from Mexico. So we are looking for question, guys. While I'm saying hello to you guys, just throw me a question. Yahima Hernandez, good to see you too, dear. I'm also happy to see you here. Margana from India. Daniel, what kind of car? I failed to kind of get it quite well. And Mackenzie from Canada. Okay, finally somebody close by. Good to see you, Mackenzie. Rajesh. So we're looking for questions while I'm saying hello. So Santorini, Greece, Iban. Good to see you. Moana Kouke from Madrid. Is that supposed to be Madrid, or is there a place called Madrid? You know, knowledge is always limited, so there could be something I don't know. And Sel from Germany. We gaze heute, dear Sel. And Yuslem Husnu, hello dear. Elena Demetriou, and hello. Donna from Alaska. Oh, well, I feel closer to you now, Donna, because it's snowing here, full of snow, everywhere is white, so perhaps we have something in common. Idaho, Kathleen, hello dear. We're looking for questions. Dennis says, I have dreams, bad dreams. Well, it seems like you're sleeping very shallow. You're not sleeping deep. Usually, every night we dream, but we don't remember it if we have slept quite deep. So perhaps if you would do some exercise during the day, and you would be able to calm your mind. As you know, the mind has lots of ripples, depending on what's happening during the day and you're dealing with it. And if you can learn some meditation, depends on what you like, to decrease the ripples of your mind as much as possible. It can never be zero because then you're dead. It'll be just, instead of being big ripples, big activity in your mind, you bring the activities very low with the meditation, and perhaps that will help you to sleep softer, easy, and deeper, and you won't even remember the dreams, let alone bad ones. Also, they say don't eat too close to your sleeping time, which I don't really think that has a lot to do, because I often eat close to my sleeping time and it seems to be okay. So Claire from Wales. Hello dear. Good to see you, Claire. Guys, while I'm waiting for a question to come in, I find it appropriate to tell you a little bit about what we do here. I have written a few books. Me, My Psyche and I is a book that has a lot to do with how we think and how the psyche works and so on, and many different interesting short chapters. And then Transient Thoughts and Me, and that is a book about how thoughts appear in your head and you had nothing to do with it. You didn't desire them, you didn't welcome them, you didn't create them, but they're there. And you want to know what they are, if they're something to do with you, if they represent you, your preferences or your mentality, or how is it that they happen to be there. There's another book that is called The Breakup Pain Handbook. That book is also about 500-600 pages, and the others were like 360 and I don't know, 150 or 200. So that one talks about that, what we are talking about why you feel the way you feel after a breakup, what are the thought processes, what is an order, what is the interference of each person's order in a relationship, how they cope with each other, what thought patterns and what emotions and why those emotions appear, the role of the psyche in your relationship and your breakup, why you feel as bad as you do. Mostly the channel that I have on YouTube, which you have the link up there, you can see it, or you can just put in mehran.beh, M-E-H-R-A-N, my last name D-A-D-B-E-H. On YouTube, that'll get you to my channel. So I started this channel a few years ago when my son had, one of his breakups with his girlfriend. So we discussed, and then these discussions led to more research, and with my understanding and research and experience in the past and further later on, we were able to put this helpful talks, and then I started sharing this with people on YouTube. So on YouTube now we have over 300 videos in regards to the psyche, the relationship and the role of the psyche in our relationships and breakups, how we feel, why we feel that way, and how we move on, how we can move on, how we can be helped and move on, how we see it, the new life that we have after breakup. And so there, almost every kind of scenario that you could think of is there, and the ones you haven't, well, I still come up with it. And you also have many talks about, there's about 45 talks that we've done on this Facebook page, and now on Sundays we have 10:30 in the morning right here, live talk, so you can ask your questions. On Saturdays I have another channel which is my own Facebook page which the link is up there again. Mind That Seeks Truth, author. There's author and books, then either one is mine. And I have a live talk on one of those pages, Mind That Seeks Truth. If you go and like the Mind That Seeks Truth Facebook page, you will be informed if there's a talk coming and when it's coming and so on and so forth. But that's Saturday and Sunday. And the YouTube channel that you now know about has over 300 videos that has been quite helpful in helping people around the world. And I also, if you go on my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, you will see a sample chapters of my books. You can read one chapter of each book, and you can see the table of contents of each, see if it's useful for you. They're both in paperback and ebook. And also you have a video club, a VIP video club, which are the videos that are not published on YouTube, but you can pay like $5 a month or something, very nominal. So about 120 extra videos that you can have access to through that membership. And all the talks are also there. All the previous talks are also there. Also, you can see the seminars that I've done on one of the local universities here, and it's talking about the end of fear, the relationship between thoughts and fear, how they're put together. And it's very interesting, perhaps the first time anybody was able to put these two subjects together in the way that I have. And it was a group that invited me at the university to do that. Then you also have a Skype consultation page that you can go and find the budget that is interesting for you or affordable, and also according to your need, book a time, and then we'll have a one-on-one Skype consultation that I have all through the week, all around the world. So now I want to ask you, once we finish here, please do go on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, and like it so we can all be in touch and to know what events are coming out. Now, do we have any question here? I'm still waiting. Thank you, Reagan. I appreciate that. Saskatchewan, I hear, is a beautiful place. We're looking for a question because, as you know, today we don't have a lecture unless we have a question, then when we go on to discussing that topic. So anything about your relationship, or anything about your breakup if you're going through, or anything that concerns you that has to do with your psyche, a matter that you're negotiating with in life, about your ego, desire, and thoughts and consciousness and fears, perhaps we can talk about that. So this is, as you know, many of you have been here during the past 45, 46 weeks, and you've had the chance to interact in this way, but we are looking for a question to get us going. Yes, Danielle, absolutely, you're right. Cecileni from Brazil, hello dear. Denise says, I had dreamed of death of people I know few days before. Yes, I've heard that some people happen to feel that energy or that happening. I'm not sure how that's done. And I don't think it's a short subject to talk about. Anwar, Leila, Sharifi, Mustafa, Ikram. Salam, Labas, Bekhair. Salam, dear. Good to see you here. Ola from Ali Alfaro, hello, dear. Okay, now we're looking for some, yeah, that's right. Hello from Madrid. From where? Okay, here is Canada, Vancouver, Moana. Questions, guys? Questions, we're looking for a question from Denmark. How can we use that way to perceive with the sense? Okay. Giuseppe, please explain it a little bit more. It says, in our advantage to find love, how can we use that way to perceive with the senses? I'm not sure if I can understand it, but perhaps I try, because I think perhaps you're trying to see, maybe you're talking about how you perceive things, and why is it that when you see something you don't really see it, and instead you're perceiving it. Well, this is what happens to most of us, as when you look at something, for a moment when you recognize that something, for example, you see an orange tree, and from the distance you see a tree and you recognize it's a tree, so far so good, you're with the tree. And then you go a little closer, you see it's an orange tree, so far so good, you recognize it's an orange tree. And so far you're one with the happening of life. You're at the now, at the present moment, because you are now interacting with something that you are seeing is as that thing is. But what happens is, as soon as you see and recognize it's an orange tree, by the time your eyes actually hits the orange tree and you recognize it's a tree with oranges on, suddenly, because of the fact that you have so much of this different kind of situations as an information stored in your memory, you start now comparing what you're seeing with some orange tree that you saw in your auntie's place, or some garden, or some orchard, or somewhere else. And suddenly you are now comparing this orange tree with that other orange tree, or this orange with that other orange, which is now as a memory in your consciousness. And you're thinking about, well, this is not as yellow as that one, and that one was bigger, and now you're focusing on how that one was, and that takes you away from what day it was, where you were, that tree was. And so you're no longer at the present moment, because just by perceiving instead of observing what it is, you happen to no longer be here, because in your thoughts you have gone back in time. By remembering, perceiving that other orange tree which took you somewhere else with some other happenings that you have a memory of, suddenly you're no longer, while your physical being is here, you're no longer in the same time frame as your physical being is standing, and you are now traveled in time. And you are not seeing this orange tree anymore. You're not making any kind of a contact or interaction with this anymore. Instead, you're in your memory, in your thoughts, and you're thinking about a different orange tree, different orange, and somewhere else you are, which is no longer in the now. And that's how you lose the reality of life. And the life that we mostly think of it as our life is really spent in perceiving things that we see in our memories, which turns the life that we think of it is the death of the past. Because when we are in the memory is the past, nothing exists in the memory, everything is dead, it's just recording. And when you see the orange tree, yet you travel because of it and perceive it in somewhere in your memory, and then you're no longer here, you're in the past, and therefore you've lost the chance of interacting with the actuality of life, and you've lost the chance to learn something new, and you're now living in your memory. So your life as you know it is turned into death of the past, because you are there trying to figure out and compare what that was. So these seems to be a trigger for you to go somewhere else in your memory. Don't let beautiful things in life to become a trigger to take you in the past and take you to a dead life, which is the memory, and be occupied with that. Never be able to become one and interact with the life as it's happening. As we talked about, life is, you can think of it as a stream, a river coming from the mountain on your left and flowing towards you, and then passing by you, and then leaving you to the right. Now, the part of the water of the river that has not arrived to you, is on its way coming from the mountain, that's your future. Hasn't arrived yet. So no sense of constantly trying to figure out what it is. Where is it going to be? What is it going to be? What does it contain? It's not here. You have no access to it. You have no control of it. You can't interact with it. So might as well, it's useless to be wondering about it. The water that has passed you by, it's your past. It's already come and gone. There is nothing you can do about it. You have no access to it. You cannot reach it. You cannot change anything. So it's useless and waste of time to try to figure that how I can change that, or is there anything else, or roam around into there while you have no access to it, and that's gone. It's death. It's gone, not existence. But the water that is passing by you right in front of your feet, that's the water that you can interact with. You can fish in it, or you can reach in it, see what's in there. Maybe it's something good, maybe a piece of gold, maybe a debris, maybe whatever it is, maybe wash your hands or your feet. Something that can have a reaction to you, and you can have a reaction to it as it is at that moment. That's your now. That's your present time. That's your present life. That's where most of your focus and your efforts should be, to build something, to change something. As I'm talking right now, this is my reality. This is the now. That I can change this word that is coming out of my mouth. I can change it now. Once I've said it, it's the part of the river that is gone. I cannot take it back. So my actions. And the things that I haven't said yet, it hasn't come out yet. So I'm not even thinking about it at this very moment as much as I'm thinking about what I am discussing rather than what I will be discussing tomorrow. It's the water that hasn't arrived to me yet. So I shouldn't be really focusing on that at this time. I should be focusing on this water that is passing by, how I can make it become useful to me and to the others in this world, how I can be having activities that could help others to grow and become more prosperous, or help myself to negotiate life in a better way. This is the moment. That's why we should always focus on the present moment. We should focus on the orange tree that we're looking at. What is that all about? Not letting it be a trigger to take us to some other memory of an orange tree and missing the opportunity to actually take an orange, take it, look at it, smell it, and enjoy it, and think about this moment, which is the interaction and involvement with the now, with the present moment, with the flow of energy, with the flow of life, with creation of life, not the life that is gone and dead, not the life that hasn't come yet, that the moment, the present moment. Present moment is your past and is your future. Why? Because the present moment is based on the activities and the things that you learned and you thought of it, and that brought an action, experience, and knowledge, and so on. And those have brought you here. Based on those actions, you end up here. And what you do now is actually what is going to create your consciousness. Your actions based on your consciousness, which was the past, will create your thoughts, which is from your consciousness, which is based on the past, will create a new action, new experience, new knowledge. New knowledge adds to your consciousness, which in the future you will have a thought of it. So really, your future thoughts, which is your future action, which your future experience and knowledge, which adds to your consciousness, is based on your action of today. My action of my thought of today based on the content of the consciousness which was put together in the past. So I think of something, then based on that thought, I make an action and experience and knowledge adds to my consciousness. And based on what I did today, then tomorrow I have a thought. And that thought, action, experience, and knowledge. So my tomorrow is because of today. My today is because of then. So today, the present moment, is what my past and future all is now. If you understand that, then you understand the importance of becoming active with the now, with the present moment. Forget about what was and forget about what may be. You can plan on it, do your best, but it's all happening at this very moment. And this is the safest moment in life. You have no control of what's gone, and you have no control of what it may be. But you have as much control as you can have in the now, because now is made out of lots of little moments. And those little moments are so short enough there could be no danger for you in that very moment. See, that one moment passed, that one moment passed. So all these little moments seems to be my interaction with the now. And fully focused and paying attention to the present moment. So I'm fully interacting with the life as it's happening, because I'm with it. Rather than my mind, which is the entirety of me, which is center of me, being and taking me away from the now, which is things are happening, or making me conjure up things for the future as it's never happened yet, and I'm being busy and distracted with that. So if that question, if that answer helps you to see that when you are focused on the now, everything becomes more clear, your actions and your life becomes more complete, and it would be with the reality and actuality of life, then you will be able to understand what life is all about better. I don't know if I did answer your question or not, but it's something for you to think about. Okay. TJ and Philip, thank you very much for sharing the video. I would really appreciate it if whoever likes the talk afterwards share the video, because it'll be on the site, and it'll also be copied to my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth. And you can share it, and any other videos that you like from my YouTube, you can share it. This will also go on YouTube, and you can share it. So in that way, people around the world will know that there is a support after breakup, so we can talk about it and get rid of their pains and help them to move forward. And that they will also get to know about my work, and it will be a win-win situation, so we can all help each other to grow and deal with our things. Wendy says, always smile at people, it costs nothing. Is true. William is volunteer. Good for you, dear. Okay. 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 Christian support against. Okay, dear. Remember, guys, this is not a religious forum. Your beliefs are very respected for you, and you can always have opportunities to talk about your religious beliefs in proper forums like church, synagogues, mosques, temples, wherever you like. It's like it will be out of place if I go to a math class and talk about these sort of things that I'm talking about, or go to church, talk about math or these sort of things, or to mosque or synagogue or temple. So each place have its own speciality and place of discussion of different topics. And let's stick with what we are talking here, which is about relationships, breakups, and the matters of psyche and thoughts, consciousness, ego, desires, and fears. Adina says, I wasn't appreciated in the past, and I always thought I am better than that, but now I am very appreciated, and I mean at work, and now I'm thinking I'm not as good as they consider me. So it's not what others think about you, but how you consider yourself, and it is all relative. Yes, that's true. We are all accustomed to think that we're supposed to be more. Ever since we were a child, we were compared. Our parents or teachers compared you with somebody else. See, so-and-so's daughter is so nicely, they're so polite. So-and-so's son is so wonderful and so, nicely dressed, or gets A in the class. Always comparison, encouraging you or comparing you with somebody else to take away who you are, what your capabilities are, instead having a measuring stick rather than focusing on you and comparing you with somebody else, which makes the children want to be more than what they are, because they're being pressed to be more than what they are by being compared to this and that. And then because of that conditioning through your childhood, you grow up and you still think you're not good enough. You're never good enough. You always have to be better. You have to be more. In order to become competitive or become as good as the other person that you've been compared to, or better than somebody, which seems to be necessary in this day and age, in this society, to be better, in something, of somebody else. Not about how good you are, it's about how better you are than somebody else, which is all a very wrong way of encouraging people to be at their best. And so this conditioning gets you to the point that you want to be more than what you are. And when you think that way, you're now hunting for other people's recognition that you have become more. So you now start dancing to the tune of the others just to get that like, that thumbs up, just to somebody to like you, just somebody to agree with you, just somebody to think that you are like them, and you start agreeing with them even though you don't agree with them, because you just want to get that like, because you want to feel you're more, because you will feel more if others will agree with you and make you feel that you're accepted, or make you feel that you are like them, or make you feel that then you are not you, you are more than you, which is maybe them, and they could be just piece of shit. But you happen to be conditioned to think by being something other than you, it's more than you. Well, being other than you doesn't necessarily mean being more than you, so being part of the crowd doesn't necessarily make you better than what you are. It just makes you that you don't realize that who you are, what you are, is based on how you educate yourself, how you contribute to the society, how you negotiate life, how you let other things grow, and you help others and yourself, and you be fair and good, and extend positive energy to yourself, to your family, to your friends, and to your society and community. How the effect of your efforts and your mentality is positively expanded and affects the society and the community you live in. That's what makes your value to be what it is. And it doesn't have to be like the other person, or more than this, or more than that. You don't have to have a beautiful car or beautiful suit to feel you're more. You are more based on how you interact with life. You are more how you connect with the energy of the universe, how helpful you are in helping others to feel safe and secure and grow, and how you negotiate life on day-to-day basis, how you control the ego, how you control the desires that does not supposed to, that you don't let desires and ego and fear rule your life. That's what the powers are all about, and few more things. So really, how good you are is not about what other people say about you, is really how you can contribute to the growth of the society, community, earth as a whole, and not be oblivious to what other people are going through, and not to just think about what's good for me, and if it's good for me and bad for the others, it's okay. No, it's not okay. So these are little things that you can ponder, and that really makes you feel who you are. Danielle, if you go on my channel and search for the quality of life, watcher and the watched, it's explained in detail, because now that I've explained it, then I don't want to go over. Or you can watch this again after it's done. Mackenzie, you're welcome. I appreciate it, that you're enjoying it. Denise, thank you. You're welcome. Giuseppe, you're welcome. Wendy, you're welcome. Yahima. Yahima says, I listened to your advice and I'm very happy with the decision I made to stay with the known. Then he knew unknown. Love you. Thank you, Yahima. Nicola says, thank you very much. You did answer my question, and I will look further on your site. Thank you again. You're welcome, Nicola. Lovely to see you here. Archana Singh, namaste. Namaste, dear. Good, Yahima. Good decision. Hilal, hello, Mr. My name is Hilal. Yes, I know Hilal. You were here again a few weeks ago, I believe, too. Good to see you. And Afandi, Good to see you here. Romania, Bucharest. Oh, I heard Bucharest is so beautiful. I believe it's one of the beautiful cities. Alex, salam Alex. So there's my timekeeper here. Alex, what time is it? Mackenzie, you must be in Alberta, Canada. No, Mackenzie, I'm in British Columbia. I'm in Vancouver. Ghazala Rashid says your talking style is very beautiful. Thank you, Ghazala. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Yahima says, why do we think of things we know it only hurts our heart, like an old loved ones that we know it's over? Why do we think of things we know it hurts our hearts, like an old love ones that we know it's over? Well, it's a little bit elaborate question, and I try to shorten it. Why do we think of things we know it hurts? Well, you know, before you get together with your boyfriend or girlfriend, depending on who you are, what your interests are, you had a certain way of life, certain way of thinking, certain way of doing things. You would go through a certain mechanical process during the day, depending what your job is, what your life is all about. You get up, you clean up, you have your tea or coffee, you have your breakfast, you go out, you take a bus, you go to your work, you do certain work, you meet clients, you do certain things, you go shopping, and you go certain kind of activity, and you interact with certain kind of people. You have your own religion, you have your own communities, you belong to certain groups, and so on. These are your mechanical processes. And through all that, and the way you live, how you live, what you do, and what you eat, and where you go, all that that you have been filled in your consciousness, and has become your way of life, it's called your order. You have an order. That's how you live your life, by a certain order. That's your order. That's when you're single. You're not with somebody. Then when you get together with someone, you find your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and your order, naturally, is different than his or her order. And his or her order is different than your order. So by getting together and each having a separate and different kind of order in your life before you met each other, now your order is interfering with his order. And his order or her order is interfering with your order. So you're in conflict, division. And that's why you go through, at the beginning, you accept each other's order as if it's better than yours, and eventually you come back to yourself, say, this is different than my order. That was sex and pleasure and interest in that person that made me not to see all these differences, but now I see it, it's uncomfortable, so you go back and forth, divisions and conflicts, and you come to some compromise, or you separate, go each, your own ways. But let's say you have modified each other's order, you come up with a collective, common order. So now you have a new order. The old order had to be compromised or changed or modified in order for you not to be so interfering with the other ones and not to make it so uncomfortable for the other ones. Eventually, you guys came to a new order. Now, through your relationships, you're observing this new order. Once things don't work out, whether you find your differences, whether you get tired of each other, whether the way you've been conditioned in life that, you got to see as much as you can get, so this one wasn't really giving me as much, and so therefore I'm going to go like a sparrow to another branch of tree and see what's there, and then I'm going to jump to the other one, I'm going to jump to the other one, so no stability. That's how we mostly have been conditioned to constantly try to get more, and if we can't get it from this person, whether it's things, cars, money, comfort, pleasure, whatever it is, whether you're a man or woman, whatever it is that you think is not enough, you jump and quickly you go to another one, and you try to get it from other sources, like a sparrow from one tree to another. So for one reason or another, after the new order has been put together, it doesn't work and it breaks up. Once it breaks up, through this relationship, you have come to understand and appreciate and get used to the new order. Now that it's broken up, you're again uncomfortable like when you were just beginning the relationship and each order was interfering with the other person's order, and you were being uncomfortable until you compromised. Now that it's broken up, again you were used to this new order. Now it's different again. You're now on a single order, which you're not used to it anymore again. Because you're not used to it anymore again, you feel insecure. Because it's all about psychological security. Many of the things that we do in life, even our relationships, is about psychological security. So now that you feel uncomfortable and you feel insecure, what do? You go in your mind where things were secure, when you were with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend, where things seem to have an order that you both have come to realize and live with it and gotten used to it, seemed to be having psychological security, when things were lovey-dovey, at the point that things were not problematic and you were not breaking up. At one point of relationship, obviously for a long time, if it was good, that's why you were together. But now that you're separated, you feel you're not psychologically secure. So where do you find that psychological security? In your memory. So that's why you go in there, you keep thinking about the past memory that is broken up, and it gives you a hurt, as you said, but you keep lingering there because everything is known. And when you are around something that you do know, everything is clear to you, how the norm was, how the order was, from the knowledge of knowing how things were, which is in your memory, which is how your relationship was when you guys were together. Everything was clear. Everything had its own order. There was no chaos, no new thing. You were used to it. That is where psychological security to you is. That's where security to you is. And that's why you want to be secure, because you feel insecure. You feel psychologically insecure now that you've broken up. So you go into your memory and you think of that to bring security to yourself, to feel secure, to feel psychologically warm, psychologically secure. Nothing is wrong. The order is the same as before. It's not broken. I don't have to deal with something new that I'm not used to it anymore. I just want to feel loved, protected, psychologically secure in a relationship as things were there before, and I was used to it, and I had my regular mechanical process. I would get up and say goodbye and go to my work and come back home, eat together or go to a movie or something. Everything seemed organized in that time frame, is that period, is that point of time. And for that reason, you keep going into your memory, even though it hurts, but it does have that warmth of psychological security. That's why you're attracted to go in there, and you stay in there. And that's what brings you that warmth and psychological security and feeling of being protected and wanting to be there. And that's why you go in there. You don't go there to get hurt. You go there to be protected. So, could someone tell me what time is it? Have I gone over our regular hour? Okay. I hope I answered your question. Okay, yeah, it seems like it's time for us to say goodbye. I enjoyed our talk. I hope you enjoyed being here, and I hope that you sort things out. Don't forget, share the videos that you like on YouTube, and share this talk if you liked it, and let people know that there's support after breakup and for your relationship and matters of psyche, and you can understand it and study it better. Something for you to ponder. Please do go on my Facebook page, which the link is up there. If you can look up on the title of this talk, the link is up there for my Facebook and also for my YouTube channel. And like my Facebook page, and so join me at the next talk next Saturday on my own Facebook page, and next Sunday, same time, on this wonderful Facebook page of the amazing things in the world. And I thank you for Wittyfeed to arranging this opportunity for me to get to know you all and help as many people as we can possibly do, and have a conversation, dialogues about these subjects and wonderful other topics that may come up. Thank you again. Love you all. Talk to you next week, and have a wonderful week, and hope things will sort out and be good to yourself and to the others. Bye for now.